confirmed shortly. In fact, joining us on the line to take the sad news forward is David Kekana, colleague of ours, worked with Mzimasi at SABC Sports, also a senior reporter himself at the SABC. David, good evening and thank you for joining us. Are you with us on the line?
Tabiso, I'm with you, and you know better about the experiences that we shared with our brother Mzimasi Mgebisa, and it's been a hard day for me. It's been very difficult for me the entire day, but he's gone to his place of rest.
David, take us through the life of Mzimasi. I mean, we know he's Mzi. I remember he was, as I said in the intro, he was an editor at SABC Sports, worked with you day in and day out. I used to come across to your offices. It was always a fun day in the office with Mzi sitting next to you.
Look, my brother was, if I have to use the word, the most stubborn guy I've ever met. And I don't think you become a journalist of his stature and reach the heights that he's reached without having to push boundaries. And I think one thing about Mzi is that he learned the craft very early. He's worked for some of the best newspapers in the country. I mean, the Star, the Sunday Times, the Sunday Independent. He's been there, he's done that. I'm not even talking about television. He's worked for all television media in the country. But he's done that through the fact that he understands the craft, and embraced what the craft gave to him. And for that, it is the teachings that he imparted to me when we were working together across each other for all these years. We've been to the Sunday Times together. We've been in the same building at the SABC. I've been there for him, and he's been there for me throughout our careers as a sports journalist. He was a larger than life. I mean, physically he was big, and in terms of his heart, he was larger than life. He was as big as his body was. Somebody that knew everybody. And the one thing about Mzi is that if he has something to say to you, he will say it in your face.
Speaking about that, David, remember in December late last year when there was a sort of a wrap of the season, so to speak, and Mzimasi was asked to comment on a couple of those things, and the Orlando Pirates issue came up, and as you said, he said it as it was. It has now been said by the former coach of Orlando Pirates, basically along the very same lines that Mzimasi came out and wrapped up the season at Orlando Pirates. That was the person that he was, and that is what I think a lot of us will remember him for, standing his ground no matter what. If he knew something was right and correct, that's where he stood.
He never backed down to nobody. He was not the type to do that. He would go to his grave on his own principles, on his own marker. He died on his own marker. Irrespective of what I told him, I said, you can't say this, you can't do this, you can't, let's be circumvent about issues. He's gone to his grave now on his own marker. And Nestosa, without him, when I take out a mundu wako, says it as it is. Utetikaka, untelikaka. Ndizoisho lento le, ungamtelikaka Kekana. Ndiaisho, and he'll say it as it is. He did not mince his way, and that's how he is. That's who he is, and that's how he died. He died like that. He put his marker, and he will always be remembered as that guy that will always stand no matter what, whoever what, and that's him. In sports, in his life, that's how he is. And that's what made him the journalist he was.
David, just quickly wrap it up for us. We know that there was expected to have the memorial service, if I'm correct, sometime this Friday. Do you have any details? I know you've been in touch with the family, Mzimasi's wife. What is the word from the family?
Well, tomorrow I need to have a discussion with the SABC because everything depends on what they say at the SABC. But I'm trying to have the memorial service on Friday at the SABC. You know, he might have left the SABC under the circumstances that made him leave the SABC, but that was his home. That's what killed him because of he knew he belonged there. You know, so I am of the opinion that we're not going to take him away from something that he belonged in. So I'm saying that I'm going to appeal to them, to the powers that be at the SABC, that his memorial service should be done on a Friday, this coming Friday at the SABC. And I'm hoping that I'm going to find people that are going to be listening to that message and at the SABC and try and meet me halfway about his memorial service. And of course, his funeral will be next week on a date that still needs to be discussed with the family, which I will also be able to inform people about come the memorial service. So all those logistics will be taken care of. But the memorial service probably on Friday at the SABC because that's where his heart was. That's where he belonged. That's the institution that lived for him, that he wanted, that he loved.
Yeah. David Kekana, senior reporter, senior analyst at the SABC. Thank you very much indeed for joining us as we talk. In fact, as remember, Mzimasi Mgebisa, senior reporter at the SABC, former editor at SABC Sports, and quite a well-known figure right here at SABC News as he came through quite occasionally to give us updates. Thank you indeed for joining us. And that was David Kekana, senior reporter, senior analyst at the SABC Sports, just giving us an update on the passing, untimely passing, as it were, of Mzimasi Mgebisa, a colleague of ours. We'll keep updating the story as it turns out. But as you heard David say, there might be a memorial service right here at the SABC, hopefully come Friday, but we'll update you on that as the time goes on. Move on to tennis news.